everybody, it's Amanda. I'm going to sit down with you and do a debt confession of how much debt I'm personally in on a low income, okay? So I'm only counting my debt because my husband does what he wants to do. He's a grown man, and he wants to work on my debt first before he tries to conquer his. His debt is very much so lower than mine, and we'll go over the reasons why, okay? So, if you're new to my channel, my name is Amanda. I'm 35 years old. I live in Oregon. I live in the center of Oregon where it's very, very expensive, and I'm on a low income. Now, my low income is going to look different from the national average because of the fact that I have to base it off of my current living situation and demographics, okay? I have been on YouTube for the last 3 years, showing you guys my real life on a low income, budgeting, cash stuffing, sinking funds, and recently in the last year and a half, I've been doing a lot of vlogs, okay? So overall, I made a book. We're going to go over the book and how it works, but today is my debt confession day, okay? And some of you guys know that I have been working on phase 1 of paying off debt. This is an overview of how to pay off your debt and how to utilize your book here. This is the debt confession page, and then you have tons of different debt payoff columns here where you can write the overall debt, the balance, the minimum payment, and then you can write down every single date, payment, and balance until it's paid off to 0. And then I also made sure that I added another confession in a year's time because we want to see progress. And a lot of people have asked me why I didn't do this monthly or quarterly, and the answer is because a lot of times if you're on a low income, you're not going to see a big difference from one month to the next or one quarter to another. So I did one confession, and then in a year's time we're going to go over it again. So I tried to record this already once, but my dog was making a licking noise and it was very annoying, and I couldn't do it anymore. So I am back to the confession page, okay? So as of today, we're going to talk about phase 1, credit cards, and all the things, okay? So credit card number 1 is a credit card that is secured. I'm not going to tell you who these banks are or anything like that. I'm keeping all my personal information to myself, and I will go over some personal debts, and I'm not going to tell you exactly what they are, but kind of when they started, how they happened, okay? So, credit card number 1 is a secured card. I've had this card for 6 years. I'm not closing any credit cards for one reason, and that is because if you go to get a loan and you've closed out 5 credit cards, they're going to say, nope, you closed them out. Just don't use them anymore, okay? Best tip possible. So I owed a monthly payment of $24 on this one. And the amount due was, and I have to do the math, so I paid $67.98 plus 32.97. So in 2 payments, I owed $195, okay? And that is with a very low interest rate. This is paid in full. So paid in IF. I know that's terrible looking. Paid in full, okay? So I don't owe anything to this one. It's gone, okay? Next is going to be my next credit card, which is going to be credit card number 2. Okay. And this one is still, and by the way, all these accounts are active. They are not, they're current accounts. They are not anything that has gone into collections. These are current accounts that I've been paying on regularly, okay? So this credit card current balance is going to be $336.35. Okay. And the minimum payment on this one is going to be, I believe, $27. Okay. And this one is not paid in full. Okay. So I do still owe this amount, and actually less than this amount, because I already made a payment for the month. It just hasn't posted. Okay. Next is going to be credit card number 3. Okay, and this one had a balance of $240.97. Okay, this minimum balance was paid in full, and this was costing me $35 a month with the minimum payment. So this one is gone. Okay. And I'll highlight the ones that we've paid once we're done as well. Credit card number 4. Okay. This one was $241.79 when it was paid in full. Okay, paid in full. Now this one was also costing me $35 a month. This one is now paid. Okay. Next is going to be my last credit card. This is the biggest one I have. And this is also the highest credit line that I have in credit cards. The total line actually went up to $1,100, so $1,100. And I owe $992.79. Okay. And this is not paid. Okay. And this one is a minimum payment of, I have to look on my sheet. Hold on. This one is a minimum payment of $45. Okay. So that means that anything with a check next to it has been paid. So we're going to do a total debt pay down. Okay. So that would be $195 that has been paid. $240. Oop, man, I'm not really doing this. So we'll do it at the end. Okay. So there was that. Okay. This was a big one for me, and I apologize. I am left-handed. So this is going to be my car loan. My car loan was for my 2020 Kia Sportage, and this balance was pretty high, but I was paying $700 a month to this. Right, Kia. Okay, but my actual payment was $613.64. So I was actually paying a lot more to this credit, or to this line of credit, to pay it off sooner. And what was it that they paid off? Where's it at? It's here somewhere. Okay, so they paid a total of they paid a total of $11,962.12. Okay, that was what they actually paid. And that is my car insurance, because this debt here is gone. I don't owe nothing to it. Its original amount was over $45,000. Okay, so this one is paid in full. Okay, And I apologize, the dogs are like knocking around at the door. All right, so the next one is going to be collections, okay? So collection number 1. This is from 2016. And this one after that is from 2017, okay? Okay. The first collection is going to be an exact amount of $608 and where's it at? $608.92. This came from my credit report. I have not contacted them since 2017. Okay. And then my next one is $90 and no change. $90 even. Okay, so I still owe $608.92, and then I also still owe the $90. Now these have not changed in interest or anything like that in years. Okay, when I pulled this in late January, early February, that's what these were at. Now, I have been told that I need to leave these for the last of the last, okay? And there's a reason why. And that is because of the age of the accounts. It might drop off, okay? So next, and I already told my members this, okay? Next would be my personal debts. I've put them into categories. This is not all one debt. They're in categories based off of when I need to pay it and how much I have to pay and what they're to. Okay. Some of these came from a specific place for a specific reason. Okay. So, Amanda, personal number 1, and Amanda personal number 2. Okay, so some of these occurred in 2018, and some of these came from the pandemic. One of these categories is mostly medical, and the other one is personal stuff that Jordan said don't share on the internet. Okay? So these are personal debts. I grouped them together. So if it was medical, I grouped them together with some other smaller personal debts, and the other ones I grouped together because I want to pay it all at once. And there's a reason for that, and that's because if I pay off these in 2 different ways all at once, it'll help boost my credit score. Okay? So the first one is going to be, and then there's no monthly minimum at the time for these, other than I do pay $300, which is over what my agreement is for these, and I pay that based off of what each account needs. Okay, so personal debt number 1 is $4,407.72. Okay, now this was much higher. This was about $800 higher as of last year. So I've been making quite a dent. Okay. And then the other one is $6,835.94. Okay. Now, some of this came from the pandemic, and some of it came about because my medical insurance did not bill correctly. Jordan also has some bills from when we had the coronavirus and we had to go to the hospital. I specifically had to go to the hospital because I have an underlying health condition. I have hyperthyroid Graves' disease, and at the time, my health was at very much so risk. Okay? So that meant that it was life or death if I went to the hospital. Now, during that time, I was on Oregon State Health Insurance. Now, one thing I wanted to mention about Oregon Health Plan. Yes, it can be free if you're low income, but you also have the option to pay for it at a lower cost. So, I'm a little bit irritated about some of these things because of the fact that these were bills that I shouldn't have had to pay due to medical insurance. Now, I know a lot of this happened to a lot of folks. Specifically, I have a friend that had a baby during that time, and she is now stuck with almost $19,000 in debt. And she had her own insurance, but they did not bill it. I've asked them to rebill it. I've sent paperwork to the health insurance company, all the things for years. So guess what? Now I get to eat it and pay for it, which kind of pisses me off. Okay? So I wouldn't have accrued some of this debt if that wasn't the case. Okay? Now I cannot speak on the behalf of my husband because he is not here to talk about his debt. He doesn't want to share it on the internet, and I feel like that is up to him. He does not have to share it with anybody. However, I have a plan. I already told my members this because they know a lot more details than you do. Okay? And besties, don't worry. If you're over there, we're going to have a real sit-down chat one-on-one on how I'm going to fund this. Okay? So, currently, I owe this in credit cards. In total, $1,329.14. And actually less than that because some of these, this one and this one, are the only two credit cards, number 2 and number 5, that are left. So this is actually more like 1,200 and something. Okay? I said it in my members only video. Okay? I'm going to try to pay this off first and foremost, coming in April. Okay? Because I have a birthday coming up, I want to make that my birthday goal to get that paid off. And the reason I couldn't pay it off this last month or this month that we're currently in is because I've had a lot of life changes. Okay? Some of that is the signing of a new lease to the new mobile home park owners that I rent from. I rent the space from. I own the home. So there's been a lot of talk of money revolving that. And then also, I have missed a few days of gig working to train for a new job that I'm working in the evening time. And also, I'm still catching up on when I'm getting paid. Does that make sense? Because my hours are kind of stuck for now. So, I won't get a full paycheck until the next paycheck, which should be way more than my first paycheck because it's already been cycled in. Okay? Because usually it takes about 3 weeks to get a full paycheck from your job. Maybe even 4. So we're going to be working on that. I didn't put it in my budget because I didn't want to stress myself out in April. Okay? So, let's talk about how I'm going to knock this out. I'm talking about not the collections. We're going to leave those for last. And if I'm told that they're going to drop off, I might not pay them at all. I know that's morally kind of shitty, but that's life. Okay? So, hopefully they're dry. Hopefully this is dry enough. So this one is paid in full. This one here, credit card number 3, paid in full. Okay, other credit card down here, credit card number 4, paid in full. These are gone. I don't have to deal with any of that anymore. This car loan, gone. Okay, so how am I going to pay this stuff? This down here. So there's this 100 envelope challenge, and I just literally started it a week ago. And when I go out gig working, I'm paying myself first a little bit of money so I can fill this 100 envelope challenge up. And now it's going to go by pretty quickly because I have some other hustles that I'm working on as well. And I'm going to be crossing off numbers as I add it. If I can add more into it, let's say I can add 120, not just 100, I'll do that. I have some in here that I've added some extra dollars to. Every dollar counts. So when this is complete, which I'm not going to give myself a timeline on, if I could do it in a year, I would be happy. Or if I could do this more than once in a year, I'd be even more ecstatic. Okay? So the total amount saved is $5,050. Now I'm going to be still paying that $300 towards these. So it's going to go down regardless. So if I can utilize this to pay down this personal debt number one, I would have a total, and mind you, this is based off a current time. Wait a minute. 4407.72 minus $5,050. I would have $664 and some change left over. I can then use that money to start this over again and then tackle this debt as much as I can. Okay? So even if I took that rollover money and decided I'm going to go ahead and put it in an envelope for this particular debt and start this over from fresh, I would be pretty darn close to paying that one off too. Now, I will tell you this, it's going to be a pain in the ass. I don't want to do it. It's ugly. It smells. It doesn't like me. I look at these debts every day and go, up yours. I don't want to pay you anymore. Kiss my rear end. All the things, right? You know, especially these ones. Go fly a kite, jump off the next cliff. These ones, I'm thinking they're going to fall off. I think they are because they're getting, I mean, we're talking almost 10 years old on some of those. And these were the last items on my report, so I don't know if that means anything. If I can, I'll pay them, but these 2 credit cards and these 2 personal debt sections, they're going to help me the most. They're going to boost my credit, okay? And I will tell you this, and if you've made it this far, please let me know. Give me a hashtag confession if you've made it this far. I want to tell you my credit score. When I first started paying off debt, when I was sleeping in the back of my car, my credit score was a 332. And in that time, my credit has boosted quite a bit. Okay, I mean, it has done a 180 comparatively. My credit score is eligible enough for the first-time home buyer loan and then some. I almost could get a conventional loan. Okay, so the only thing that is holding me back from that is my debt to income, okay, and my overall income. Okay, it doesn't mean I can't buy a house somewhere else. I just can't afford to buy one in the Palm Springs of Oregon. So I want to open up doors for myself, and I don't want to really owe anybody anything, right? I want to walk around knowing I don't owe anybody a darn thing but my basic bills, okay? My overall goal is to be able to increase my income so I can start saving some money for my future self. Because I can't live in this 1966 single wide forever. It's 60 years old, right? I mean, getting on 60 years old. It's not going to be forever. And I've talked about that with many people. So do what you can with what you got, because it's all you have to work with. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye, guys. Oh, hey. If you're going to make a crappy, judgy, rude ass comment in the comments down below, your comment will automatically get deleted. Especially if you use certain words, let me tell you. And if you're cheering me on, I appreciate you guys. Bye.